Which of these 4 brands can drive one of these massive drill bits the fastest? Stick around to find out. G'day everyone, today we are doing another comparison between 4 different brands of power tool, and today we are doing hammer drills or combi drills or impact drills. They have lots of different names depending on where you live in the world. Where I live in the world, we call them hammer drills, and that's what I'll be calling them for the rest of this video. I have on the bench in front of me, as far as I am aware, the top drill from each of these 4 manufacturers. Milwaukee on the left, HiKoki, Makita and DeWalt. Now, because these are the best that each brand does, they're not all the same voltage. I will be doing a lot of tests between these 4 brands because these are the 4 most popular brands where I live, and as you may be aware, Milwaukee only do 18 volt. They don't do 36 volt tools or 54 volt tools like the other ones. So in this test, the Milwaukee is an 18 volt, the HiKoki is a 36 volt, the Makita is a 36 volt, 40 volt max, and the DeWalt is an 18 volt. But I know it says 54 volt on the battery. That's because it's a flex volt battery. If it was a 54 volt drill, it'd be a 54 volt battery. But they don't make a 54 volt drill yet. This video is primarily going to be about power. These are the most powerful drills in this class for each of these brands. So what we are going to do is put them through their paces in a few simple tests. Now when it comes to drills, there's heaps of different things you can do with them, of course, and there's heaps of different things everybody does that other people don't do with them. So I can't test everything. I'm not going to make everybody happy, but this is roughly what we're going to do. We'll drive some big screws. Remember, this is a power test. These are the top of the line drills. I'm not testing how good they are at putting in 40mm long screws. So we're going to drive some big batten screws, and maybe we'll go up to some of these big sort of landscape size screws. We're going to drill some holes with this brand new 65mm self-feeding wood bit. And last up, I hate drilling concrete with these things. I usually use a rotary hammer, but they are handy for doing small holes, and you can do them nice and quick in confined spaces. So we'll use a 5mm bit and we'll drill a few holes in some concrete or something like that. We'll make it up as we go along, and we'll see which one of these tools overall has the most power. And once we've done that, I will come up with some sort of arbitrary numbering system so we can put these in order from top to bottom, best to worst. I'm sure they're all really good drills, but one of them is presumably going to be a bit better than the others. When I went and picked these up from Handy Hardware, I asked the guys there, which one do you think would be the most powerful in a speed test? Which one of these drills is going to come out on top? And everybody had a different opinion, and basically I got 1 vote for each tool. So if you don't know, then make sure you watch, and soon we will all know. If you've seen my impact driver review with these 4 tools, you roughly know what this video is going to be like. I've also done one with angle grinders. I'm not sure if I have put it up on YouTube yet or not. I have filmed it, I have half edited it. It may come out before this one, it may not. The score results are at the back, upside down behind my tools and stuff sign there, so that you can't see what the results are. And I'm going to use a different point system than I did on that video because it was a bit rubbish, the system I came up with on the spot as I was making the video. So with this test, whatever features and results I decide to mark, they'll be graded from first to last, and it'll be 3 points for first, 2 points for second, 1 point for third, 0 points for last. That's not actually any particular order at the moment, that's just the way they're sitting there. Relax. This isn't going to be a full review on all of these tools. I have done a full review on this one. This is the tool I've been using the most recently, but now I've got some more to play with, so let's see if they're better than the Makita 40 volt. Which one would I put my money on? Ooh, it's going to be a good video. I will give you the model numbers in this part of the world. They may be different where you are. First up, we have the Milwaukee M18 FPD2. This is the one without the one link. It's the same tool, just without that feature. This is a very compact hammer drill. It is significantly smaller looking than the others, especially the HiKoki. It is a very nice looking tool. I'm going to give you 3 numbers for each of these tools. I'm going to give you the maximum speed, the maximum impacts for when you're drilling into concrete, and the maximum torque rating. So for the Milwaukee, RPM maximum 2000, impacts per minute maximum 32,000, and Newton meter force of 135. If you can hear some annoying charges in the background, it's because I'm actually trying to compare the HiKoki with the Makita with 2.5 amp hour batteries, 36 volts, which charger can charge them the fastest from flat. So that's what's going on in the background. You might find the results out later in this video. So as for the HiKoki, this is the DV36DA. It has a maximum speed of 2100 RPM, has a top impact rate of 31,500, and a hard torque rating of 138 Newton meters. The Makita HP001G has a top speed of 2600 RPM and a top impact rate of 39,000. The DeWalt DCD996 has a strange way of measuring the numbers. For drilling, it says the top speed is 2000. For hammer drilling, it says 2250. And for beats per minute, we are looking at 38,250. Oh, and it sounds like the Makita battery is 1. I can hear it going off in the background there. Now, as for the torque setting for this, good luck trying to find it. DeWalt New Zealand, your website sucks. They don't tell you anything about the tool really. All they do is tell you that how much it is better than the previous one, what percentage it is better. But as for finding out any facts or anything about it, trying to find a manual, absolutely useless website. So after spending the last 15 minutes trying to work out what the Newton meter rating is of this, and finding that there's several other DeWalt tools that may be better than this is the best one we can get in New Zealand, okay? I can't get a 9.7, a 9.8, a 9.9, all those power detect ones and that. I've not seen them here, they're not on the website here. And trying to work out DeWalt's, it's awful. All I can find is that it's somewhere over 1,000 inch-pounds. There's no definitive numbers. DeWalt try and hide everything on their websites. Everything's just a percentage of the tool before, and yeah, marketing's rubbish. That aside, based on what I can find, the Makita has the highest Newton meter rating, the Makita has the highest speed, and the Makita has the highest amount of impacts of every tool. These two are very close behind on the impacts, but how much difference that'll really make, well, we won't know until we actually try these tools out, because numbers mean nothing when they're given by one of these companies. The proof is in the testing. First up, we're going to drill through this concrete block. Now, I know it's not as strong and tough as real concrete, although these are real concrete blocks, not like the ones in some parts of the world. This will give us a much more uniform, fair testing material without steel or big rocks getting in the way that might unfairly advantage one tool over another. So this is nice and uniform. We're pretty thick here. What are we doing here? It is 70mm thick. We'll drill 3 holes each with this 5mm bit. We'll do it in alphabetical order. We'll start with the DeWalt. Let's go. I'm going to run every tool on their highest setting. 2, 2, 2, 3. DeWalt must be better. It's got an extra one. Next up, we're going to use this 65mm self-feeding bit, and we'll do it in reverse order. So we'll start with the Milwaukee. I'll start on the highest setting on each drill, and if they can't hack it, then we'll drop it down. I will be doing it in the drill setting on each drill. 3, 2, 1. Second gear. 3, 2, 1. Highest gear in 3, 2, 1. DeWalt, gear 3, 3, 2, 1. Gear 2, 3, 2, 1. Well, without reviewing the footage, I have no idea who won that. I do know this, the HiKoki sounded really slow, and when I first started I thought, ooh, that's not going to be good. but it actually seemed to go through pretty quick. And the DeWalt, I didn't know how that was going to go because it's got the 3 speeds. I knew 3 would be too high, and I didn't know between 2 and 1 what would happen. If 2 was too high, I didn't know if 1 was going to be too damn slow, but seemed to go through pretty damn good. But DeWalt, what are you thinking with this handle, man? It is the shittiest handle. Did you model this off a $30 drill from 20 years ago? I mean, I'm sure even Ryobi has better handles than this. It's way too close to the tool for something that's got this much torque. It just feels cheap and plasticky. There's no rubber overmolding, there's nothing. It's just no effort put into it whatsoever. Like, you just grabbed any handle that was laying around and threw it in the box. It's just disappointing. Who's going to take out the last test? The 14 gauge 100mm batten screws. We'll start with this size and then we'll move on up. Well, without looking at the video, it felt pretty clear to me that DeWalt was the winner. As for the others, I'm not sure what order they came in. Let's do some bigger screws. Let's go... I'll go see if I can find some 200s actually. Okay guys, in that one I don't know which one was the fastest, but I do know which one had the most power at the end. The Makita cut out just as it got to about the perfect sinking of head depth. The DeWalt cut out a bit sooner than that, and the Milwaukee actually took 3 shots to get it to go in one go without the battery crapping out. So the winner, the only one that I had to take my finger off the trigger at the end because it just wanted to keep on going, was the HiKoki. As I have been going along my merry way doing my tests, I have also been testing this, the Makita 18 volt. Been around for donkey's years now. This is the DHP481 or the XPH07. If you want to see that put up against some of these other drills, check out my other channel down in the link below, builds and stuff. I do a series called 2 Screw Review. Those of you who are in the know will know. And you can go over there and check out this versus some of these other drills firing in some batten screws. They're real quick little 1 or 2 minute videos. So if you haven't already subscribed, go check that out down there. Right, the final torture test. Who can drive these? These are 280mm long. They are 10mm in diameter. They are called landscape screws. I think at least 2 of these drills are going to struggle with this. But let's lock and load and see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Whoa, pretty close. Three, 2, 1. Three, 2, 1. And that's why you need a fucking longer handle. 3, 2, 1. Fucking hell. Fucking crazy shit. Now to try and keep you Milwaukee guys happy, I've stuck the 12 amp hour on, okay? Can it do it in gear 2? Now these results aren't as straightforward as you might seem, eh? You never know which one's actually going to perform the best at which task. And that is another reason why at the beginning of this video I never told you what batteries I was going to use. I usually say which amp hour I'm going to use, but I didn't really go into it. So you will have seen in the video the Milwaukee had the 6 amp hour 18 volt, the DeWalt the 6 amp hour 18 volt, but it's a flex volt. The Makita and the HiKoki both running 2.5 amp hour 36 volt. Now, to make the cells the same, I could have run these two on 5 amp hours, but it means I would have had to go out and buy another 2 batteries, which I'm not going to do just for this video. And you just saw that I tried the 12 amp hour out on that last test, and it made a significant difference. These drills are all interesting. They all do different tasks, slightly different. It's, you know, it's quite strange. It's hard to pick which one would be the best drill overall, because they do different things slightly differently, as you will have seen. But I still haven't watched any of the footage yet, so I'm going to have to go watch that, edit this video, and then I'll come back and we'll wrap this thing up and we'll do the point system like I said, and we will see which one comes out on top. Also, over on builds and stuff, I'm going to do 2 screw review comparisons on batteries. So we will do it with this tool with both of these batteries, for instance, this one with the 2.5 and the 4, this one with the 2.5 and the 4. So have a look at the link down there for builds and stuff, and go and check out those 2 screw review videos over on that channel. See you in 2 ticks with the verdict. It's a bit noisy. Right, so it's that time of the video. Let's see which one of these tools did the best. Sounded a little bit like Shatner then, didn't it? I have covered up the results of the angle grinder test in case I haven't released it yet, and even if I have, I don't want to ruin it for you in case you haven't seen it yet, because you might want to play along at home and see if you can work out which one's going to win. So anyway, when it comes to the drills, the hammer drills, I've just been weighing them for one of the points I'm going to give out. Before I do the power tests, they were so close, so close. And remember, I did 2.5 amp hours on the 236 volt tools and 6 amp hours on the other 2. When you chuck in something like this, the results change somewhat. So I haven't added anything up on paper or anything. I've written down in order which ones won each test, but it's still actually too confusing just glancing at it to work out who's going to win, especially with the other bonus points I'm going to give out. And I'm going to give out the bonus points first. Before these bonus features, it's just going to be a 1-point system to one of the drills per category. And then when we come to the power tests, I will rank them from top to bottom. So, coming in with the best weight, by best I mean lightest, the Milwaukee by a couple of hundred over the DeWalt, then the Makita, and HiKoki is the heaviest. So we'll give 1 point to the Milwaukee. Then when it comes to size, these tools are getting smaller all the time, and this is much smaller than the HiKoki, but it isn't smaller than the Milwaukee. The Milwaukee is, I don't know how easy it is to see, fractionally shorter and not as fat as the Makita, so it also gets another point for size. Be easier to get into tighter spaces than any of the other 3. Look at the difference there. So the Milwaukee smashes it in the size department. So Milwaukee off to a nice little lead already. Next up we have overall comfort of the tool. Now, the DeWalt and the HiKoki are very heavy on the top, HiKoki especially. The Makita has quite balanced, as is the Milwaukee, but the Makita is going to win the comfort round because it has the nicest trigger and the best hand comfort, especially when compared to a Milwaukee, which always has a bit of an issue in this area here. Why do they do their triggers different to everybody else? Everyone else has the little kick on them. Every brand, every tool you ever see, apart from Milwaukee, which causes your finger to slip sometimes onto this horrible bit here, and also if you're holding it and this finger rubs against it. So not a big fan of the triggers on Milwaukee tools. So Makita wins the comfort. The DeWalt has the best light. It has 3 settings for the light. So you've got sort of half light, and then full on light, and then torch. And that torch light will stay on like that, so you can sit it next to what you're doing, get your impact driver out, do some screwing with it, and that'll stay on. It's quite bright. Much brighter than the other tools. That'll stay on for 20 minutes if you leave it in that setting. So they get a point for that for sure. I'm also going to give DeWalt another point because it has 3 gears. All the other tools have 2. So that's 2 points for DeWalt. Seeing as we were doing power tests for this video, I didn't bother checking any of the clutch settings that all these drills have. But I'll give a bonus point for the best clutch settings, or the most. The DeWalt has 11 times 3 different gears, so that's 33. The HiKoki, 22, 2 different gears, that's 44. This one, the Milwaukee, has 14 times 2 is 28, so that's the lowest. And the Makita has the fancy dial down the bottom here and has a total of 62 different settings. So Makita gets a bonus point there. So 3 of them neck and neck so far. HiKoki still failing to get on the board. And also down in the comments, let me know what you think of this system where you screw the handle straight into the tool. Do you think that's better or worse? How many people have snapped the actual tool? I know guys who have snapped these on the Makita and the Milwaukees, but at least you can just easily buy another one of those and replace it. If you smash this, you're smashing your drill. So is it an issue? While we're talking about handles, I am going to take a point off for the DeWalt handle, which is a piece of shit. This is the sort of handle you'd expect to find on a $30 no-name brand cheapo tool. It doesn't lock in place like the other 3 do, and it's just way too short for the power of this drill. This is a very powerful drill, and that just doesn't cut it. It's not safe enough. It's like they've just thought, oh, we'll just bung it in, you know, just because we should probably put a handle in there. They haven't thought it through like the other 3 companies have and thought, right, these tools are powerful, they need a specialized handle. So DeWalt fail on that one. So after the bonus round, we have HiKoki coming last, DeWalt second last, and in first place Makita and Milwaukee. But now is the part you want to know. Which one smashed it in the power stakes? Some of it will have been obvious from the video, but some I am going to go in a bit more depth and explanation because they're not quite as obvious as they may look. I wanted to give a point out for chucks as well, but I can't work out which chuck I like the most and which one I don't like. So I'm going to leave the chuck one out of this. They've all got issues as far as I'm concerned. But here we go, in the 65mm beast drill bit category, we have the winner with 3 points. DeWalt, HiKoki in second with 2 points, and Milwaukee third. Makita not making it on the board for this one. In the 100mm batten screw category, we have not a decisive winner as such. In the video it may look like the DeWalt one, but you may also notice that I fumble a bit with the Makita and I haven't got into the screws. If you count the speed of just the screws, the Makita fractionally edges out the DeWalt. It's so close. So I'm going to give DeWalt and Makita 3 points each for this one. Milwaukee coming in next with 2 points, and HiKoki gets a point. So everyone gets a point for this round. Next up, the 200mm batten screws. This was interesting as well because we have a different winner. It is the complete opposite of the last one. Coming in first place, HiKoki. The only one that managed to drive the screw straight down and wanted to just keep on going. I had to take my finger off the trigger. All the other ones, the drills cut out. So in first place we have HiKoki, second place Makita, third Milwaukee. DeWalt didn't get the head of the screw in. Very strange considering how much power that drill has with other applications. As you can see, these tools are just so close. Look at that. I mean, so far it's neck and neck pretty much. Now when it came to these big mothers, there was one drill that did struggle significantly. But after I give out the points, I'll show you another video. So in first place, the HiKoki smashed that screw in its second gear, which the Makita and the DeWalt could not do in their top gears. So we have in first place the HiKoki, in second place Makita, and in third place Milwaukee. The DeWalt doesn't get a point because, as you will have seen, the drill got ripped out of my hand. So it's still super close. Makita and HiKoki out in front over DeWalt and Milwaukee. But let's have a look at this little video. 3, 2, 1. Bam! Cut out right at the end, but wow. And so as you just saw, with the 12 amp hour high output battery, the Milwaukee did extraordinarily well. But as they don't make even batteries like that across all of these different brands, I couldn't test the 12 amp hour on the Milwaukee. It's a little bit unfair, although some of you are going to say 36 volts unfair anyway. But I'm going to give the Milwaukee a bonus point for that. So it looks like it's going to come down to concrete. Which of these tools performed the best in concrete? In last place, the HiKoki. But still got good points at this stage, so we'll see what happens. In third place, the Milwaukee. In second place, the DeWalt, which puts all 4 drills on exactly the same number until we look at the winner of the concrete drilling, which was the Makita. So through my highly scientific test, as you've just seen, the Makita just edges ahead out of everybody else, but boy oh boy was that close. I thought the angle grinder video was close, but these tools are all fantastic drills. They're all, basically you're going to get whichever color you've got with everything else, right? You're not going to go and buy the red one if you've got a whole lot of green tools and vice versa and stuff. So it doesn't matter which one of these tools you buy. They're all great drills. If you were going to buy one from scratch though, the best overall all-round drill, in my opinion, after my testing, which some of you aren't going to agree with of course, but that's the fun of life and YouTube and everything else. So it's the Makita. It is a great drill. But so is this, so is that, and so is that. If you've got an idea for a tool you want to see me put these 4 brands through up against each other in some power tests, let me know down in the comments and you might get lucky. I might go and grab some and test them for you. Preferably be something that I already have some of. That way it'll be a little bit easier and cheaper. But until next time, subscribe, like, thumbs, and my other channel and all that. See you later. And I've just had a quick look at the results, and if you think the bonus points skewed it towards Makita, well, Makita still would have won without the bonus points. And the winner of that would have been HiKoki, would have moved up. So it would have been Makita, HiKoki, and then Milwaukee and DeWalt.